everyone. Welcome to Pre-Health Shadowing. My name is Jennifer, and we are Pre-Health Shadowing, an international nonprofit organization, and our mission is to empower aspiring healthcare professionals like yourself and provide them opportunities with professionals. We're thrilled to have you here, and Dr. Rasgado-Flores will be talking about himself as soon as I'm done with all the slides. Sorry. We also have closed caption available for those that need accommodations. If there's anything that you feel that we can do to make this experience more accessible, please feel free to email us at info@prehealthshadowing.com. Save us as a contact and keep us away from your spam, and join our email list so you never miss a session. We're also on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, and we're on YouTube and Facebook, and also on LinkedIn. Don't forget to sign up for our email list and make sure to be always informed about our sessions and opportunities. We also are hosting from all over the world. We want to know where you're calling from. I'm from Los Angeles, and we can see where other people are calling from or where they're at. You can post it on the chat line: Georgia, San Jose, New York City, New Jersey, Stockholm, Chino Hills. Cool. Okay. Sorry. Don't know why it's not going. Sorry, next slide. So if you're interested in being part of pre-health shadowing, you can volunteer. We have a fantastic opportunity. All you have to do is volunteer and register on our website, and you get more information there as well. But if you want to join our leadership team, we're also recruiting. It's 100% remote, and it's a little bit more time of just a regular volunteer. So if you want to do that, apply online today. And here are leadership roles within PHS that we have available. And there's also some that if you think that we can use them, you can also make sure to add that. And here's our link as well if you want to join our leadership team. And also, if you're a high school student, you can also apply. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Fill out interest form for high school training program on our website. And if you want to donate, it would be really helpful if you donate. Our program is free of charge and is really helpful from donations. So we run solely on time and donations of our volunteers. And also, if you have any questions that you want to ask Dr. Rasgado-Flores, you can on the chat, and we would be happily answer those questions for you. Sorry. And then also please take good notes, because we do have a quiz after our session, and it's really good to take good notes. And one last thing, please, if you can have your cameras on, we'd really appreciate it. We'd like to see your faces. And for now we're going to send it to Dr. Rasgado-Flores for his presentation.
Thank you very much for having me, and I am very honored to be here and to be able to talk to students. I do many things in my work, in my career. I'll be talking a little bit about that. But let me start by saying straightforward and from the very beginning that from all the things I do, the single most important work is to bring to higher education, especially to medical school, that's where I work, underrepresented students. And I think that's by far the most important work. And let me go through the various reasons why I came out to come to this conclusion and to this path. When I was very young, I was very privileged. My father was a physician, and he was also a musician. And I had asthma, and my asthma was very, very bad. And in fact, my father told me that he was surprised that I survived it. It wasn't really that bad. And so I developed this interest in health and trying to understand what was wrong with me in being so sick. And since then, I had an interest in studying science and medicine. And I also had the privilege, my father taught me music, and I began also to study formally music. And I went to simultaneously to a medical school at the UNAM in Mexico, Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, is the biggest university in Mexico. I studied medicine, and I also studied music. I studied to become a pianist and to become a composer. And there was a moment I had to decide whether to go professionally in music as a pianist or composer, or do a career in medicine and science. And that was a difficult decision. And so I thought, well, it's very, very competitive, either one, but to become a really successful musician, you need to be incredibly good, and you have to practice like crazy every day, all your life. So I thought, well, I would do the science and medicine career, but I will try to maintain as much as possible the career in music as well. So that's not very conventional. And you could say, well, that's maybe not a very good idea. And that's, if you ask me for an advice as a student, if that was is something that I would have chosen now in retrospect not to have done that path, I would say no. I think I did the right thing, and I'm very happy that I was able to continue with both paths simultaneously to the best of my abilities. So I went to medical school in Mexico, and then I was studying music at the same time, simultaneously piano and composition. And I thought from the very early that instead of following a path in clinical, doing a clinical work, I was very interested in science and research and basic sciences. So I did a master's and a doctorate in neurosciences with an emphasis on biophysics. And I went to the University of Maryland, where I received a PhD. And then I went to Massachusetts, to the Marine Biological Laboratory, to study membrane transport. And I was very privileged to work with the squid axon, the squid giant axon, which you all know is such an incredible preparation that has the classical, that's where it was discovered, the action potential, just simple as that, right? And synapses, how they work. So it allows itself to be studied from a very detailed biophysical perspective. So I work with the squid axon, and we work on magnesium transport. We discover a new transporter of magnesium, how that works, and also the transport and regulation of calcium in cells and cell membrane regulation, very, very importantly as well. And I had, since very early, support from the NIH, very fortunate for this work, and created my laboratory. I was brought to Chicago, where I am right now, at the Chicago Medical School, at Rosalind Franklin University, where I have been working for over 30 years, and doing this work on basic science. But then I noticed my school is in North Chicago, and we have been in North Chicago for about 40 years. And for North Chicago is a community that has a very large population of underrepresented students in higher education. 40% is Latinos, and another 30% is African Americans. And if you ask me, how many students have we graduated in our university that are from North Chicago? The answer is that's a very hard question, because maybe not very many, or maybe not even one. So that's a real problem if you think about it. So it is as if we were not really playing an important role in the community, not educating the members of the community. So I began to think, why was that? And the reason is, well, we are a private university. It's expensive. I don't need to tell you, medical school is terribly expensive in the US. And there are so many hurdles that the students have to overcome to be able to enter to medical school. When I went to medical school in Mexico, I didn't have to take another career before entering medical school. I entered like all the students right after high school. You can enter medical school, and that is all over the world is like that. It's only in the US and Canada that students have to go to another career before they enter medical school. And that's also it's also very, very interesting and strange. And if you think about it, and if you look at the history, why is that? And why do you have to present the MCAT, which is such a hard exam? Uh, is also very, very interesting. You can see that the reason is to create hurdles, to create obstacles for students to enter these professions. And why is that? Because it used to be, and it still is, but hopefully is becoming less and less, a white man club. That's what it is. To study medicine is something very uh, is a white man club. That's what it is. Very privileged and very restricted. That's why they make it so difficult for students to enter these careers, unless you are affluent in an affluent family, and you can go to very, very well high schools and colleges that have a lot of resources, and you will get very good preparation to present for the MCAT and to be able to enter the medical school. So that was what I was thinking. I realized why we don't have students from North Chicago and my university. It's because there is no tradition, there is no affluency, and the students don't go to colleges there. If they go to colleges, just that's already a problem. If they go to colleges, they are colleges that are not as resourceful for providing students that education. We receive 14,000 applications every year to enter our school. And we only can accept 200 students. So as you can see, the competition is really fierce. And those of you who are from California, it's the same thing. You know how complicated it is, right? And and that's the system. That's the problem. The system in this country is to prevent students that are underrepresented, like I see many of you who are in this meeting right now, in this session, are. So the system is designed not to let you in. When I welcome students at our medical school year one, and I am in charge of students that are underrepresented. And when I greet them for the first time, I tell them, what in the world are you doing here? Instead of being nice to them and saying welcome, that's what I tell them. What in the world are you doing here? You are not supposed to be here. All the education system, since you were in kindergarten to now, is designed to prevent you being here. So it's quite amazing that you are here. It's really remarkable. That means that you are so resilient and so strong and so smart to overcome all these barriers and being able to enter higher education in the biomedical field in the US. That's really quite amazing. There is a study, and if I had many slides that I could have presented, but I thought it would be better today to have just a candid conversation with you. And I ask you please to feel free to talk or to use the chat at any moment. And so we can have this two-way conversation. But there's a very interesting study that was done by the Georgetown University in Washington. And in that study, what they did was to follow, it's quite remarkable, they follow through many years students from kindergarten all the way to when they finished college and they got employed to work. And they had hundreds of students. It's quite remarkable. It's a longitudinal, very complete study. And what they did in those studies is that they were looking at two kinds of students: the ones that were from high socioeconomic status and the ones that were from low socioeconomic status. And they followed them how they were doing through their education, and they consider as successful students those that were doing very well in English and those in doing very well in math. And they justify why they choose those subjects, and it makes sense. And what they found is that the students, when they were in kindergarten, there was actually no big difference between how successful were the kids from higher socioeconomic status and the kids from lower socioeconomic status. They were about the same. Actually, the ones from lower socioeconomic status were a little bit more successful than the one from higher socioeconomic status. But through the years, the education system in the US works very well for the students with high socioeconomic status, because from 40% that were successful increased all the way to 80% when they finish college and they got employed. So the system works very well for them. However, for the students in low socioeconomic status that were about a bit higher than the higher socioeconomic status in kindergarten, they decrease from 40% to only 20% when they finish college. So the education system worked against them. It was not even supporting and sustaining them, but it was working against them to make them successful. So that's one of the many reasons why it's so difficult for underrepresented students to be able to achieve enter medical school and these careers in the biomedical field. So I was thinking, well, this is really a problem, and I wanted to do something about that. And me, together with my wife, we developed a course that was doing in the summers at our laboratory. My wife is a physicist, and we work together. And we got scholarships from the American Chemical Society. And with those scholarships, we brought the students that were local students to do research with us during the summer. And they return every summer to do the research. So they had a salary. They didn't need to work in McDonald's or anything during the summer. They could work with us doing research and return every summer. And after a few years, all the students that we were having in our group, all of them went to college. And they became, some of them, so successful that, for example, one of them is the dean of one of the colleges in our community now. So that was really quite remarkable. And the administration at my university began to notice the work that we were doing. And so they thought, well, maybe this is something that we would like to encourage and to make it even stronger. So we developed a program, it's called Inspire, and we began to get bigger funding from private funders. And to date, we have been doing that program now for 15 years. 100% of the students finish high school. And that's quite remarkable. And all of them, that's the amazing, is twice as many as their peers go to college. All of them. And 70% of them go to STEM careers. That's 7 times larger than their colleagues. So we are having now about 30 students or 35 students per summer. We invite them back every summer. We give them a salary, and they work with all the investigators at our university. So they do research during the summers, and they achieve these goals. All of them finish high school, go to college, and 70% of them go to STEM. And not only that, they are beginning to come now to study medical school with us. And all the other professions, we have over 20 careers at the university. So we are beginning to have now students from our community that are beginning to work with, to become the role models that they never had at their community. And we expect more students will be coming from looking that people like them, that look like them, that look they're community based, that they are African Americans, they are Latinos, they can become physicians, and they can come and they would feel that they would feel empowered to do that. This program has been expanded to other programs. We have another program, it's called Science Saturdays, and that's for early high school students. It's another free program. We bring them for 10 Saturdays we teach them from what is science all the way to doing different scientific procedures, including sophisticated things like tissue culture, ultracentrifugation, chromatography, and at the end they get a certificate, and they can use that certificate to work in a lab or to apply for college. And from that program, we select the students to come to the Inspire program. And in the last 2 years, we have expanded the programs to a mini medical school for 7 graders, 7, 8, and 9 graders. And also local students, we bring them to university, and we teach them various aspects of the human body, physiology and anatomy, about vaccinations, very importantly, because it's so critical these days, the problem with vaccination. Yeah. And not only that, we bring the families, also the parents, because we realize that the ones that require the most education are the parents, actually, more than the kids. So with the parents, we give them training on how to do experiments with their kids at their home. And we give them the materials to do experiments. We give them, for example, respirometers, plastic respirometers, and we teach them how to use them. And we give them stethoscopes, how to measure the heart rate on the rest or when they are doing exercising, and to discuss the experiments with their kids when they do them at home. They never used to talk about science at their homes. And now we are empowering them to talk about science with them. So the idea is also to create this chain of nurturing in science and STEM, that the students from very young and their parents together will be able to feel empowered and to envision themselves to come to these professions. So that's the most important thing I do. Now, regarding science, my work has been on biophysics, membrane transport, as I was telling you, magnesium, calcium, cell volume regulation. And I was working with the squid axon and with a beautiful preparation. This is the barnacle. I think I have a barnacle here. Yes. This is a barnacle. It's the giant barnacle. And the muscles that open and close the operculums here are the largest animal cells known to man. One muscle cell, one single cell, has a couple of centimeters in length and a couple of millimeters in diameter. So they are so big that you can perfuse them with little tubes, and you can control the intercellular environment. You can place electrodes and measure the memory potential and change the memory potential of them, and also control the memory potential and measure pH, for example. So there are amazing things that we can do with these cells. And so we had a very, very productive lab. We had very good funding and very good research for many years. But then the NIH decided a few years ago that this was very far away from humans. And they said, no, we need you to do some work more related to diseases related to humans. So that was a very big blow and a very, very complicated situation. So this is something I would like to discuss with you as future scientists or physicians, is when you have these obstacles, what do you do? You could just give up, or you could just try to find a way around them and overcome the obstacles. So I thought, well, this is an opportunity for me to try to use my knowledge, which is biophysics, membrane transport, and study a disease that is very, very closely related to biophysics. And I asked medical students, what disease do you think would be good to study from a biophysical perspective? And so they think and think and think. And the answer is a wonderful disease is cystic fibrosis. Why cystic fibrosis? Because you may know it has to do with impairment of chloride transport in cells, and especially in the lungs. If the chloride transport it doesn't work properly, then you cannot hydrate the airways, and that's why the patients die and they cannot breathe. So I began to study cystic fibrosis, the transport of chloride and sodium in cells. We got collaborations to study cells from transplant lungs of patients that have cystic fibrosis. And we do primary cultures of these cells, and we can study why they are diseased and how can we treat them to make them work better. It was discovered a few years ago that patients that have cystic fibrosis in Australia and they got surfing in the ocean, they improve dramatically their ability to breathe. And so the physicians in Australia, they thought, well, maybe what is happening is that they are inhaling the seawater, right? The micro inhalation of the water, seawater, and that is going to produce an osmotic gradient in the lungs that is going to promote hydration in the airways to help them breathe. And that makes sense. That makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is that the benefits on the breathing last for many hours after they finish surfing. That doesn't make sense, because the osmotic gradient should only last for a few minutes while they are exposed to the seawater breathing. So that was one of the questions we studied in the laboratory. And what we found is that exposure to hyperosmotic sodium saline solutions, what it does, it inhibits sodium transport in the airways. And by inhibiting sodium transport, you inhibit dehydration. And if you inhibit dehydration, then you promote hydration, and that permits the patients to breathe better. So that's one of the discoveries we have done with cystic fibrosis. And then also I was thinking, well, this is also an opportunity to take advantage of the privilege I have had and that's why I mentioned that from the very beginning, of having studied music and composition. And I thought, well, what about studying, and it has been published, the use of music as a therapeutic tool, as a medicine. And I have been doing research on dementia patients and found that exposure to a string quartet that plays for them familiar music, music that they know, improves significantly their self-awareness and their awareness to communicate with their peers. And these are patients that are, all of them, diagnosed with various levels of dementia, and every single patient improves. That's quite remarkable. That doesn't happen often in science. So we want to study how come that happens, and how can we make it work better? What is the dosage? If there is a curve that the benefits, how long they last, what is the decay time, and how often should they receive this treatment for them to keep engaged and to increase their self-awareness. Also, we are very interested in studying music for epilepsy. There is epilepsy that cannot be treated with medications. That's called refractory epilepsy. And it has been found that patients that listen to a specific music of Mozart, it has to be Mozart, and it has to be two pieces, two piano sonatas that are known, and that's it. And doesn't matter if these patients like Mozart or not. It doesn't matter if they prefer jazz or rock or country or anything. Those two pieces help them significantly to reduce the intensity and the frequency of the epileptic seizures. So that's a very interesting, very interesting observation. And our hypothesis is that self-awareness, we believe, is a level of coherence and activity in between the various portions of the brain. When that coherence is too much, then you could have epileptic seizure or Parkinson. And you can see that in your brain activity is very uh, systematic, very similar, right? And is not like a dialogue, it's a very coherent. So it's too much coherence. And when it's too little coherence, then you could have loss of awareness and dementia. And these particular pieces of Mozart, they have the structure, the right structure for whatever reason, and that's the way Mozart wrote them, that brings the brain to the right range of coherence that is neither too much nor too little, but the right range to allow for self-awareness, and it could be therapeutic. So that's a hypothesis that we would like to test, and that's where we are now. The NIH had been interested in funding research on music for the first time, but right now with this government, everything is very complicated and very messy. So we are waiting to hear from them again, and hopefully we'll be able to continue our research on this field of music. So that is in a nutshell what I do and why I do that, and trying to take advantage of the privilege that I have had in my life to being able to be in medical school and music training, and trying what I would like you to think is that being privileged, as I know I am, creates a responsibility, and that responsibility is towards trying to bring more opportunities to people that haven't had the same privileges that I have had. And that's why as I said at the beginning, the most important work I do is to try to bring to higher education and to medical school and to science students that are underrepresented in science and medicine. And seems to be working very proud, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm very happy to take questions from anybody and to to have a conversation with you guys. Mm.
I have a question. I don't know if I can go ahead
Yes,
and
please,
ask.
Emilia.
Hi, well, it's very nice to meet you, Dr. Hector, and I feel like just listening to you today has been very refreshing. As a Latina and an immigrant myself, it's been very even emotional to hear you talk about how underrepresented students still struggle and have to face these barriers to come to this country and try to study medicine and go into the healthcare field. So I want to thank you for this conversation, for everything that you just told us you do for us in our community. And then I just wanted to ask you how your journey was from studying medicine in Mexico to then come here and apply it, and how what were the boundaries and limits that you had to go through? Because well, I came here right after high school and I was preparing to, like you said, go straight into medical school, but here is a totally different path. So I'm doing psychology right now, and I also try to hopefully apply that in my future medical career. But I know that there are obstacles to learning medicine in our own countries and then coming here and try to apply that. So I would like to know how your journey was.
Thank you, Emilia, for the question. Where are you studying, Emilia?
I'm studying right now in Georgia, but I'm from Ecuador
Oh,
originally.
okay, very good. So you were born in Ecuador.
Yes, I was born and raised in Ecuador. I've been here in the States for 6 years, so not too long ago.
Okay, wonderful. Well, wonderful, Emilia. Thank you for your question. There are, okay, let me put it this way. We are 20% of the population Latinos in the US and similar, more or less similar to African Americans in the US, more or less. However, how many physicians are Latinos and how many that physicians are African Americans? Much less than that. Okay, and if how many scientists are there? Is incredibly low the number for Latinos and African Americans that are scientists. It's even lower than physicians. And why is that? Because of all these reasons, they are no role models, they are no tradition, and there are so many barriers, so many obstacles that students have to overcome to be able to reach these careers. One of the barriers that I encountered when I came was the language. To speak, well, I have an accent, as you can all tell. I have this sexy accent, right? So that for sure is a problem communicating, and writing grants and writing papers was complicated, and I had to work very hard on that. So for becoming a scientist, it's very important to have a mentor, to find a mentor that is going to be a person that is going to be supportive and that is going to help you write and speak and present. So that's going to be very important to become a scientist. To become a physician, you also need mentoring, and that's why I was asking you in university, because there are mentorships offered in many universities. Georgia, I'm not especially familiar with that, but it would be something for you to look at what mentoring they offer. And also, I don't know if you have heard about the Latino Medical Student Association.
Yes, yes. We actually have a chapter because I'm an undergrad right now. I'm a senior. So we have
Wonderful.
a chapter of LMSA Plus at
Okay,
our university, and I'm in the e-board for that as well. I'm going to the conference because there's a Saudis conference next weekend. So I'm going to that.
fantastic.
And yeah, it's good to meet other people in the community that are also trying to go through these obstacles and through these barriers to become physicians and be in the medical field.
Well, I think you are going in the right directions. That's wonderful that you are in the board. Good for you. I have the privilege of being on the national board of the LMSA, so I'm very much involved with them. And I'm also going to Midwest in another couple of weeks. Our meeting, yes, as well. So congratulations, that's very good. I think you're going to find a lot of mentoring there and a lot of help. Okay, and I'm going to write in my here in the chat. I'm going to write my email for any one of you who would like to communicate with me
Hmm.
and ask me questions or anything I can be of help. I would be delighted to do it. So I'm writing that right now. There you go. So all of you can see my email and can communicate with me and ask questions after this meeting, and I will be very, very happy whatever I can do to support and to help, to be of help. So you need to work hard, Emilia, on knowing the system, preparing very well for the MCAT. We have a program at our university. Also, let me tell you this to all of you who are interested in medicine and who are underrepresented. Okay, let me tell you about this program. It's called the pre-matriculation program, and let me write that also in the chat. There you go. It's the pre-matriculation program. I misspelled program at Rosalind Franklin University. It's a program where we receive students that are underrepresented, that are interested in medicine, that they are not quite there with the MCAT yet, but they are close. They 480, something like that. We can take students from that. It's a free program. And not only is free, we give them a stipend because we receive students from all over the country. Okay. And these students, if you are approved, they take two courses at the medical school level. They take biochemistry and cellular and molecular biology. If they pass the courses with B average, they are automatically offered an interview at the medical school. That is really quite remarkable. It's incredible. I think it's the best program in the country for that. Okay. If they don't pass it, if they are close with a C or something like that, C plus, then they are offered to take neurosciences afterwards. And if they get a B, then they are offered the interview. And that has been a path that has allowed us to have underrepresented students at the medical school. So it's a wonderful program. And so I'm very glad that you asked for this question, Emilia. So check it out. And if you are close and could be of help, this could be a great program of anybody of you that are in a similar situation than Emilia. Would be very nice for you to have a look at this and apply.
And
And
do you have to have taken the MCAT yet or no?
It's good to take it, yes, because they need to know how close are you.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yes.
Okay, well,
It doesn't
that's,
have to
that's
be.
very good to know. Thank you.
Yes, very good. It's a wonderful program. Wonderful program. Students, you need to show that yes, you are not there yet, but you can be there, and this program will help you. Will help you, and then help you to prepare for taking the MCAT again and be in the range of 500 to enter the medical school. Okay. So do that answer your question, Emily?
Yes, yes, it did.
Okay.
Again, thank you so much for everything you've shared and for everything you've done for our community as Latinos. It was very nice to hear you.
Thank you, Emilia. I thought that Richard has his hand raised.
Yeah, yeah. It's a couple. Hold on. Let me. It's a kind of a racket. Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No.
Now, what kind of topics are covered in the MCAT? Like what kind of mathematics, what kind of science questions, things like that are covered in the MCAT.
There is a lot of things in biology, physics, math, you name it. It's a hard exam. So you need to go to the internet and see how could you prepare for the MCAT. What are you doing now, Richard?
Well, I'm currently in community college, and I'm currently transferring to a UC right now. I've sent multiple applications to multiple UCs, so I'm pretty much throwing rolling the dice and see what lands. But I've done various sciences. I've done physics. I've done biology, microbiology. I've done chemistry, biochemistry, organic chemistry.
Okay, all of that it comes in the MCAT, all of that. So getting there are books that are available to prepare for the MCAT. You can go to the library and get them out and and prepare it. And there are some universities offer the MCAT for free to take it just as a test, and you could do that and see where you stand.
I
Okay.
see.
Yes, but all that is available, readily available, the information for you.
Yeah, that's good because as I stand, I probably get destroyed on it.
No, it's just a matter, yes, of being well prepared.
Yeah, yeah, because I have. Oh, and then another thing, since you study medicine, what kind of degrees they usually want? Because I heard that they want degrees in life science, but
It could be any degree to get to medical school. We have had, for example, in a medical school, students that they study arts, for example.
really,
Yes, but they did very well in the MCAT. So that's it. If they do well in the MCAT, that's all it takes. It doesn't matter what you study. But of course, if you study biology or neurosciences or physics, then you have the most chances to do well in the MCAT, of course. But there are some cases where students did something completely different than biology or medicine and still did well in the MCAT and were accepted.
that's
We have had students, for example, and a student remarkably that was a professional worker in the Cirque du Soleil,
hmm,
acrobat. Can you believe?
wow.
Yes, an acrobat. Incredible. But did very well and is a physician now. Yeah. So what really matters is for you to pass the exam well. And of course, the career you take prepares you better than others for the MCAT.
Yeah, because I'm aiming for something maybe in the pathology field.
Yes, of course. That would be wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, because one, I find it interesting that you're studying samples that help diagnose diseases and help treat them. I heard that I don't know if it's changed. I don't know if it's changed now, but I heard a while back that field is not exactly the most competitive. But I'm pretty sure it's changed now.
Yes, well, you have to look at the options, but look at the MCAT. That's readily available. Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, and a
Good.
little question that's
Yes.
slightly different. Uh, because you mentioned the giant muscle that you showed us right now, right? And you said that when you compare the cells, are they really muscle cells or are they like the skeletal muscles?
Skeletal muscle, yes, they're skeletal muscle, yes.
Yeah.
Multinucleate, striated, yes, yeah.
Are they? I'm sorry for hogging the time here, but how do they compare to the human skeletal muscle in terms of strength,
Okay,
contractibility?
well, they have some similarities. They regulate calcium very similarly, and it's calcium that activates the troponin-tropomyosin interactions to produce the contraction. So they are very similar in that respect, but there are differences also as well. So, but they are a very good model for studying membrane transport, and that's what allowed me to do these studies that I did. But however, since not being human, that's the problem I had. That the NIH told me, well, that's it. This is very far from human, so forget it. We are
Yeah,
not going to find you there anymore. And so that's when I moved to cystic fibrosis and to the research on music.
yeah. Oof, that stuff is brutal. It's genetic. It's a genetic condition too.
Yes, it's complicated, but one has to be resilient and to adapt to the circumstances.
Yeah, I find it interesting that the research with seawater and helping people breathe is coming along nicely. Then I'm also hearing that things like CRISPR-9 is also that helps correct genetic anomalies is also coming along too. When I heard from my biotech professor.
Oh, okay. Yes, very interesting, Richard. Well, good luck to you, Richard. Okay, and if you are close to the MCAT and may need a little push help, maybe our pre-matriculation program would be helpful.
Yeah, yeah. I still have a ways to go because I'm barely going to be transferring to a university.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
barely just sent my applications
Yeah.
and last year in October.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Richard.
Thank you so much.
All right. I see there are some questions in the chat. One question from Scarlett is, what specific pieces of Mozart have been thought to be helpful? There are only two sonatas for piano, and is the sonata Kegel, that's K 545. I'll write that in the chat also. Sonata for piano. First movement is only the first movement that works. That's also very interesting. And we have some hypotheses why that works. And that's one of the things we would like to study. Okay, but that's the first movement of that sonata. Okay, now I have another question from Maria who says, just out of curiosity, do you still practice music or is math of a hobby now? I give concerts on a regular basis, and I get commissions to do compositions. Let me show you. This is a book that has some compositions of that was I was asked to write. It's about the chemical elements. It's called Suite de los Elementos, and here you see in the first pages is a you can see is the periodic table. Get it in focus here. I don't know so why not working so well. If you can maybe so right. Well, I don't know. It's there the periodic table. There the periodic table, and in the periodic table you see in color the elements that I selected, and there is all the music scores of all the elements that I wrote, 14 elements, and at the end a CD that I make a recording of the pieces. If you're interested, you can listen to that in YouTube. You just type Los Elementos, suite Los Elementos. I will type this. and that's in YouTube. And the university made a video to accompany the compositions. They did a very nice job there. Okay. What is about, Madison asks, what is about the Mozart pieces that allow for an improved sense of self-awareness and allow for it to be therapeutic? Is it the frequencies? Is it the frequencies in the music itself that also for that, or is something being activated, releasing the brain for that to happen? That's a wonderful question, Madison, and that's a question that we would like to answer. And we believe what happens is that if you listen to the music, it's very structured in the scales. Is not something that you will listen for pleasure. It's very nice to listen, but it's very structured, very organized. So we think that what it's doing is producing a coherence in the brain, the right coherence that is neither too much nor too little, but the right coherence that will allow the brain to be in tune with the environment. So one of the hypotheses we have is if we modify the music, for example, to change it from a major chords to minor chords, then it will not work. And we actually have measured the entropy of the music, the level of disorder of the music, changing from major to minor. And we want to do this experiment with the patients. And the hypothesis is that it wouldn't work anymore. So that's the hypothesis we have, but that's something to be tested yet. Okay. Then Alejandro asks, do you know what activities can help me stand out as a pre-med? I mean, I'm considering teaching communities about navigating health information and about sailing into this miscommunication. That's a wonderful thing to do, Alejandro. And that certainly will distinguish you for your application. It will show you commitment and knowledge of the community. So that's a great thing to do. That would really be a very, very nice thing. Congratulations. And then Sierra is asking, if I want to become more of a scientist than a physician, how do you recommend finding a mentor? Okay. At the university where you are studying, Sierra, go and find out who is doing research and what kind of research they are doing and which one interests you, and introduce yourself to the scientists and tell them, I am interested in becoming a scientist. I am studying, I don't know, Sarah, what you're studying, but you tell them what you're studying and when will you finish, and you would like to know more about how to be a scientist. Ask them for copies of their publications and read them and try to understand them, and then ask them if you could talk to them after you read them about their research findings. And eventually you could ask them if they could, when you are ready, if they could be a mentor for you. And that would be a wonderful thing. I have had in my life very good mentors and very bad mentors too, both. And the good mentors were really very, very instrumental in my developing as a scientist. And it's a matter of looking for them and a little bit of luck, certainly. And the mentor should be somebody who knows very well the work they are doing, who has good funding, and who has the time and the care to help you. That's also very, very important. Somebody who is going to be patient and somebody who is going to be willing to guide you to go to the becoming a scientist. So you will learn from that. Then you will go to graduate school. In graduate school, you will get a PhD, and there you will be working with scientists. And depending on the field of your work, you will be meeting more and more scientists in the areas that you're interested. and eventually you could do the PhD and postdoctoral training with them. Okay.
There's another question here from Scarlett, and she's asking, are there similar research programs like the INSPIRE program across the country, specifically in Los Angeles?
Okay, in Los Angeles, there are some programs, and I don't come not on the top of my mind, but let me look for that. And if you, Scarlett, if you look at LMSA, what they are doing in Los Angeles, that would be a very good way to find programs. Okay, Latino Medical Student Association, LMSA. In Los Angeles, of course, there are several very important universities, and there's a very strong LMSA there. So they should have the answer for your case. Okay? Good luck with that, Karen.
Another question from Elisa. She is, it's nice to hear everything that you have done. Do you have anything planned to research in the future?
Oh, well, I have many ideas. Yes, I would like to continue the work on the dementia patients and to do the work with epilepsy. We have many ideas to test, and another idea is we want to implement this research with veterans that have post-traumatic stress disorder. The idea is to give them drums that they are tuned in the pentatonic major scale. And it would take me a little bit to explain why, but the pentatonic scale is doesn't matter how you play it sounds good because it's physics, just pure physics, okay? So no matter how you play them, it sounds very good. So you train these patients that have PES, post-traumatic stress disorder, to play them. And what we want to do is to measure salivary samples from them before they are trained to play them, and after they are trained to play them. And the hypothesis is that their cortisol and amylase, which are enzymes that measure stress, are going to be diminished when they are performing this music that they compose themselves with the drums. So that's one of the things we like to do, and if it works, it's wonderful because it's a procedure that is very cheap, doesn't have any secondary effects, and is very well accepted. So that would be wonderful. That's one of the other things we want to do. So yes, we have several ideas of things we want to pursue.
This other question is from Nazvi. She said, how can current pre-health students advocate for more inclusive pathways for medical education?
Can you repeat the question?
How can current pre-health students advocate for more inclusive pathways to medical education? Nazvi.
We have to find programs that are supportive, and the ones that I described in our university are very comprehensive from children all the way to medical students, and there are several other programs in the country. I don't know where she is, but it would be a matter of looking for them and for example, LMSA and the National Medical Student Association for African Americans is also very supportive. They have associations all over the country, and to look what do they have to offer at the location where she is.
Another question from Katie. She's asking, how did you know that the medicine and research was the right path for you? Do you have any advice for pre-health undergraduate students who are weighing their options of medicine or other fields in science?
Yes, that's a very important question. The answer is you have to feel a passion for that. if you do it because it's just prestigious or it has a good salary, then that's a very bad reason to do it. And the medical field is to help the community, is to help patients. And yes, you have to go to a very serious training, and yes, it's very highly regarded, and yes, the salaries are good salaries, yes, but that's not the goal. The goal should be to be able to help the community, or to have a passion for understanding, for solving questions, and that's what would be becoming a scientist. Being a scientist is a very difficult task. If you don't have hours from 9 to 5, you work whatever it takes, and Saturday, Sundays, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just need to make sure that the research that you are doing is working. And the only reason you would do that is because you are passionate about answering questions and using the scientific method to answer them. So that's the answer. Yes.
Another question is asking, can you share some, sorry, it's Esmeralda, and she's asking about sharing some extracurricular activities that you did during undergrad or some outstanding ones that you feel were helpful.
Okay, well, the extracurriculums, I was working since very young with communities of underserved children in Mexico, and I taught them music, and we made a little orchestra, and I taught them actually to write their own pieces, and that was very young. I was doing the extracurriculum, and so helping, being involved with the community, demonstrating that you care, that you know them, that you want to be an agent of care and development for the community is one of the most important extracurriculums that you can do. Of course, being able to do some research, that's a wonderful thing as well. And that comes when you are more inside the academic environment of the university. But the community work, you don't need to be in any particular university or academic environment. So both of them are very valuable and very highly regarded, both the community work and the academic work.
Another question from Jade. She says, thank you so much for a helpful session. I have played piano for 7 years before, and I've always been interested in both medicine and music and combining them together, which I didn't know you could do. I am currently in community college, going to potentially transfer to a USC. Should I possibly minor in music-related fields along with biology major?
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful, Jade. Yes, yes, Jade, and I look forward to hearing from you how your career is coming along. This is new? This is a new field combining music and medicine as a science, but we have been doing that for hundreds of years. Music has been very therapeutic, and we know that. We all know that. And music is very powerful. It can make you very sad or very happy or very angry, very energetic, anything. It can do all that. That's incredibly powerful. And how it works, we're just beginning to understand it. And we need people that are trained as musicians and trained as physicians or scientists to answer these questions. So it is possible, and it would be wonderful if you, Jade, can do that. And I look forward to hearing from you about your career.
This question is from me. I'm also a veteran, so it was really interesting about your research on drums and post-traumatic stress. But what I really wanted to know is, what do you feel is the most fulfilling aspect of your career as far as the opportunities that you're bringing to underserved communities? What is it that your overall outcome is, and what is the most fulfilling part of it?
That's no brainer. the most rewarding aspect of my career is when I see the students that come to me and I from very young and begin to give them tools to develop themselves, end up becoming physician scientists and even the dean of a university. So that's quite amazing. Yes. So I feel very, very happy when I see that, and that's the most important work I have contribute to make it happen. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Is there anybody else that has any questions? Do you have anything else you would like to add, Doctor?
Well, I have been very privileged to interact with you guys, and Manasvi is asking what keeps the motivation strong to continue working with underrepresented students up to 15 years. Is that is a work that never ends, and you keep seeing how it keeps going stronger and bigger. And now we are dealing with parents and children, very young children now. So that's is the wonderful reward to see. And Emilia raised her hand.
Yes, I have another question. So you mentioned how you're in the LMSA board, right? And I've heard that there's a lot of doctors like you that want to be mentors for other, like us undergrad students. What's the best way to connect with these mentors like you, but being in a distance, since you're there in Chicago and I'm here in Georgia? Like, what the best?
Oh, no problem, no problem. I have mentoring of students all over the country, just meeting by Zoom, no problem. Well, that works very well.
So
Oh, yeah.
is the best way to like send you an email and start interacting with
Yes,
you?
if we go to LMSA, I am the mentor for science. That's my
Okay.
mentoring work for a student that are interested in science. LMSA, I am the mentor for science, and but they are all the areas of medicine. They are mentors for every area.
Mhm.
So depends on your interest, but certainly for science, I am there and very happy to interact.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And Evelyn,
Hi, my question is once students matriculate to medical school, how do you see them struggle their first year? What would you say stands out to you?
yes, it's a very, very, very good question. Yes. The and that's what I tell the student. The trick is not only to get you inside the medical school, but to get you outside of the medical school, right? That is the trick. And there are so many problems because the medical school is so difficult. They make it's also so complicated. And then the imposter syndrome comes along very fast, and students who think, well, do I belong here? I am the only one here that looks like me in this environment. Do I belong, or I'm just being an imposter here? Am I occupying a place that I don't deserve? So all those fights are very common, unfortunately, and had to be dealt with very strongly and face on from the very beginning. And at our university, we have support systems dealing with that, especially for students that feel that are underrepresented and are going to feel for certain the imposter syndrome. So you, if you're underrepresented, for sure you will feel it. So you need to name it. First of all, you need to name it. This is called imposter syndrome, period. Okay. And then understanding why is that? And then there is plenty of literature explaining and training how to deal with it and overcoming. And if you in university should have support systems to help you deal with it. And with those support systems, overcome them and struggle. Oh yes, struggle. No question, you're going to struggle. Yes, guarantee. That's no way out of that. But overcoming the struggle, that's the trick. That's the only way. So that is the path. Well,
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Is there any more questions? Do you have anything else to add, Doctor?
Well, it has been a pleasure for me. As I said, my most important work is to deal with the students like you. So that I was very happy when I got this invitation to participate. And oh, wonderful! How come it happened? I don't know, but it happened. So I'm very very glad that it did, and to have this opportunity to talk to you. You have my email, guys, and anything I could be of help, I'll be very happy. And keep in mind our program, the pre-matriculation program for those who are interested in medical school. That's a wonderful program. I think it's the best in the country, and it's fantastic. So hopefully, if you need it, you can use it, and it will be wonderful to see you with at our university or of your careers at LMSA. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rasgado-Flores. Now we're going to wrap up slides so that you get to know how to get your certificate. So let me share my screen and get that going for you guys. Sorry, let me. Okay, so as we wrap up today's session, let's take a moment to reflect on our journey together. Think about what resonated with you. What was for the most, and was there a particular moment or example that really truly captured your interest? Please feel free to add that on the chat, or you can also leave it in a reflection on our PHS website. By sharing your involvement in today's session, you can do that on LinkedIn. You're not only showcasing your learning, but you're also connecting with like-minded professionals. Remember to tag pre-health shadowing using prehealthshadowing.com to amplify your reach and start meaningful conversations. Simple act can significantly enhance your professional network. Interested in being in pre-health shadowing, please look at our opportunities that we have on our website. If you can donate, please donate. Oh, now the important part is how you can get your certificate. Okay, so don't forget to take your post-shadowing assessment. By completing this, you will receive a course certificate completely free of charge. The assessment itself is simple 10 questions, multiple choice quiz based on the presentation. This is a fantastic opportunity to add your professional credentials to showcase your commitment to learning. If you missed this session, it's always on YouTube. You can get that on our YouTube channel, Pre-Health Shadowing. To watch any of our previous sessions for free, remember that our goal is to provide accessible learning opportunities for everyone, so feel free to explore our channel at your own pace. Be sure to catch our next session that we have in Pre-Health Shadowing. Look at our website. We have those available to you. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize how much we value your presence here in Pre-Health Shadowing community. You are what makes the session vibrant and meaningful. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can stay after. Or if I don't know if Dr. Rasgado-Flores would like to stay as well. We're here for a little bit if you have any questions. But thank you for participating.
Thank you so much for your time and for sharing valuable information.
Thank you. Igual.